Hey guys, so I am going to do too bright, too clear. Hey, welcome back to the channel. I am going to do my Miami America Q&A just while I'm doing my makeup because the backdrop is cute. I'm actually in the Dakota Hotel because I actually won a competition, which is really exciting. So thank you so much. I highly doubt he'll be watching this, but just know I'm grateful, so thank you very much. So my Q&A, I'm just going to get straight into it. So as you know, my sister and I were in Miami for a week. I've been before and it was amazing the first time, and it was actually just even better the second time because the first time I was myself and the second time I was obviously with her, and I knew Miami was fun, but like it was just a different level of fun, to be honest, like when we were together. So yeah, it was so good. So basically, I'm just going to run through the questions I had about it. So the first question I got was solo tips for traveling, and I don't know if that was, it just basically said solo trips, solo tips, solo travel trips, solo travel tips. And I don't know if that was for Miami or America in general, but my biggest tip for your solo traveling in America, and I have travelled solo, I've done New Orleans, I've done New York, I've done Miami, I've done LA, I think that's it. But in all of those places, when I went myself, I stayed in hostels. That is the best way you're going to meet people. I do not know, fair enough if people can solo travel and go to hotels, like amazing, obviously comfort is key, but I just don't know how you're going to meet people, because I know when I'm in a hotel, like if I'm with my boyfriend or like my family or whatever, like I'm not as inclined to like just go and like chat to like random people, whereas like when you're in a hotel, like everyone's of that kind of like similar mindset, everyone's so friendly and kind of up for chatting away. So I would say definitely go for hostels. As a female, I would always recommend, like if you're traveling yourself again, book into the female only rooms. Don't book into a mixed dorm, because that's obviously guys sleep there too. 9 times out of 10, like guys are fine, but like, and I've never had a bad experience with like a mixed dorm. Sometimes I've had to stay in a mixed dorm if I've like booked a trip last minute and there's no rooms in a female dorm, which again isn't ideal, but these things happen. And it's the snoring. Guys are so, like a bit gross, and also like they're always the ones to snore so badly. So, and sleep is just so important, especially when you're traveling and you're up doing activities and wanting to make the most of your trip, and if you're sleep deprived, it's honestly so bad. So I would say, as a female, book a female only dorm. I think sometimes they're a bit more expensive, which I don't agree with. Like, I don't know why. It definitely shouldn't be the case, because safety first. But yeah, so that would be my top tip. Dorm, and if you're a girl, do a female only dorm. My other tip would be to do the activities that the hostel organise, because 9 times out of 10, again, the people that book onto those tours are also solo travellers, and that's probably the best way you're going to meet people as well. I met so many people just by doing these kind of these activities that the hostel run. Like even like when I was in LA for the first time, the hostel organised like a beach like shuttle bus that took you down to Santa Monica Beach every day, like twice a day. And literally you'd be on the bus and then be talking to people and be like, oh, do you want to just do it together? And then you'd meet people that way. And sometimes they organise like club nights out, and you have like pre-drinks and drinking games in the hostel, and then you meet people that way. Like, it's just really fun. It's just so good. So that's another solo trip tip, is do the activities. But see, also if you don't want to meet people, like just pick a hotel and just do your own thing. Like, don't worry about it. There's no kind of pressure. I feel like part of the beauty of going away yourself is like, when you're in the mood for socialising, you can, but if you literally just want to like do your own thing on some days, then you can as well. So that's that. Another question I got was like, what was the biggest thing that surprised me, or what was the most surprising thing about Miami. To be honest, like, just how much stuff you get for free just for being a girl. Like, I had no idea. Like, the first time I went, I got in to see Future perform free, and it should have been like $100, and I got it for free because I was a girl. Because I remember going in, and one of the girls brought her boyfriend, and they both got knocked back because they were asking the guy to pay. The girl was going to get in for free, but the guy was having to pay like hundreds of dollars, and they were like, sack this, so they just left. And I was like, damn. So that was the only kind of thing that happened the first time I went. But this time, free dinners, free drinks, free club entry, free taxis, free boat trips. Oh my days. Like, I feel like if I've spoken to you about it, you'll know. But I honestly think people probably won't believe me when I say all that. But honestly, like, if you've been, you'll know. But that really surprised me. And there's no catch as well. Like, obviously you're like, oh, all that stuff for free, like, what's the catch? Like, these guys will be so creepy, and like, they'll be expecting something from you. I swear, nothing. You can leave when you want. You don't, like, oh, it's so good. And then I come back to Glasgow, and I'm like, when like I meet my friends for dinner, and we both have to pay. It's so sad. So that was the biggest thing that surprised me about Miami, was just like how much you got for free as a female. Like, it is wild. It's definitely is a culture shock the right phrase? Because the culture isn't too different. Actually, it's very, very Spanish, which I also love. Oh, that was another thing that surprised me the most, was just how good the Mexican food was. Like, I knew, obviously I'd been before, so I knew just how much Spanish influence there was in Miami, because obviously it's so close to South America. But the Mexican food was so good. Like, I'm just obsessed with like tacos and burritos and nachos. Like, the food was so good. Like, the Mexican food's good in Glasgow, but like, honestly, nothing compares. It was so good. Oh, someone asked what's the best thing to do in Miami. It depends what you want out of a trip, to be honest. Like, if you're going as like a couple, you maybe would do, I would say, like, I don't know, obviously the first time I went myself, and I did like a boat tour, and I got to see like Will Smith's house and like all the fancy houses. Also, I'm doing this, and I know fine well I should have like done this before I put my face makeup on, but we move. Yeah, so, and I went on boat tours, I went to a club one night, I went to, like, I did lots of touristy things, like going to that Winewood, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but like went to Winewood, Art District, going for obviously Mexican food, and then me and my sister went to a basketball game. It was Miami Heat, and they were so good. Like, that was such a good experience. Like, if I can recommend anything, it's do that. Like, go to a basketball game, just eat the food. Like, they've got like Shake Shack and like Chick-fil-A. Even their McDonald's is all quite good. Like, we definitely had a few McDonald's when we were there. The food's good. And then if you're going with the girls, obviously get your free dinners, your free drinks, your free club, blah 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 blah. I would say it's a good place. Like, if you're looking for a bougie hen do or a bougie girls holiday, that is 100% the best place that you could possibly go. And as a female, you just will not spend that much money. Like, I can't lie to you. Like, I really thought we would be spending like a lot more than we did. Don't get me wrong, like, you're still spending on like your accommodation, your Ubers. Oh, that was another question. Someone asked, where is the best place to stay? And for me personally, both times I stayed in Miami, like on Miami Beach. Is that what it's called? South Beach. So basically, Miami, there's like two parts. There's like the main, like, downtown Miami. Sorry, it's so dark. Downtown Miami, and it's like the shopping district, all like the high rise, the skyscrapers, like the financial district, all the kind of like city centre vibes. And then there's a huge big bridge that connects that part of Miami to like South Beach and all the little islands, like, and that's the place where and if I was to go again, I would stay there again. Like, for like, definitely that is the place for me. because when I'm away, like obviously in Glasgow it is a city, so when I'm away I want to be near the beach. I want to be able to just roll out of, you know, your hotel and just lie on the beach, like. And there's also like a lot of clubs and restaurants on both sides of the water, so I think there's potentially more in the kind of central business district, but we just loved being by the beach, so I would definitely recommend being by the sea. So South Beach and like Ocean Drive, that's where that is as well. I would do that. Oh, we also did bike cycle one day. That was so much fun. I would definitely recommend that as well. And then also someone was asking me basically about America, like that they've not been before, and would I recommend as a holiday? Yes, I would 100% recommend as a holiday. It's expensive, yes, oh my days, it's just so expensive, but I'll maybe get into that in a wee minute. But basically someone was asking me about, sorry, I know this is probably like a political thing to talk about, but like guns and how you feel about that and how safe you feel. First of all, like, it is safe, it is totally safe. I feel like guns, it's the exact same thing as the way that we talk about knives in the UK. Like, if you're in those circles and if you're in those places, like, you'll be exposed to that. But like, if you're staying in touristy parts of America and, you know, you're staying in nice accommodation and nice areas, like, you're not gonna experience any of that. So I would say don't let that put you off. If you've wanted to come to America but like the guns like thing puts you off, don't let it put you off. Like, you will be so fine. It's usually, well, do you know what, let me not get into it too much. I would say if you're going to touristy places that are, well, America is expensive, but if they're expensive, and like, you'll be fine and it's very safe. All shops have security guards. It's just safe. I feel it's safe, so don't let that put you off. One thing as well, talking about safety, is like, if you've been to America, especially the bigger cities, you'll know what I mean, but the amount of homelessness is like actually shocking, and I'm not just saying that, it's actually shocking, and it's so sad as well. Especially in San Francisco, oh my days, like, I'd heard that it was bad, the homelessness and drug problem in San Francisco, but I didn't quite realise the extent of it as well. So I can't lie, I was definitely shocked when Smart and I were there and we saw, like, yeah, the scale of it. It was really sad. And then obviously Miami was the same. LA is bad, but San Francisco was definitely the worst for it. It would be like broad daylight and there was like smashed like glass on the floor from where cars have just been broken into during the day as well. Like, it's really sad. LA was, it's just sad. It's honestly so sad. I can't even explain. I think you would need to see it to kind of understand it. But LA as well. So obviously off the back of this homelessness and drug problem, there's a lot of people hanging about who are just so unwell. So people would just be screaming at themselves, screaming at other people, crawling about on the street. Like, obviously it is harmless and you just obviously have to like kind of, I don't know, you just obviously have to like keep your distance and maybe not give too much eye contact. And if you want to, like, you know, they'll obviously ask you for money if you want to like give them money, and all the rest of it. But I would say like that is a huge problem, and I'm used to it now because I've been a few times, but I would say that definitely shocked me about America. But Miami as well, like, you'll go to the beach in the morning and there'll just be people like sleeping on the beach from, obviously they've got nowhere else to go. So that's just one thing I would maybe kind of like be aware of. But again, people are harmless, but it's definitely like in Glasgow you'll maybe see a few people on the street, but it's a real problem. And I don't know if this is true, but someone from America told me that like there's actually a lot more homelessness in places like in the warmer places like San Francisco, Miami, LA, because the colder places in America, they give their homeless people a one-way bus ticket to these hotter states so that they can survive the winter, because if they're sleeping outside in the winter they'll obviously just die. Sorry, this is getting really sad, but basically they give them one-way bus tickets to places like Miami so that they can survive. So that's why when you go to the warmer places, there's a lot more homeless people. But that's what someone told me, and it does make sense, but I obviously don't know for like sure. But yeah, so that's a good 15 minutes of chatting away, so that's probably a good place to stop. But I had the time of my absolute life. I cannot wait to go back. I would love to go back with Smart as well. Flight tickets aren't that bad. Like, flight tickets are like a few £100s, but again, girls, when you get there, you'll not be spending money. So if I can just say, book it. Miami's unreal, and you can do like day trips to the Bahamas. We didn't do that, but definitely on the bucket list. So yeah, but anyway, I'm gonna wrap up here. If you've got any more questions, please message me, because you know me, always sending voice notes. I love a wee voice note. So yeah, if there's any more questions, let me know. And I didn't even finish my look. You'll not even see the full glam, but it's probably for the best. It's literally just lipstick and makeup. It's nothing special. But anyway, I'm gonna go. Thanks so much for watching, and see you in the next one.